Hello everyone, my name is Przemek Chojecki and this episode is about getting into quantum computing. So I've been running a quantum computing startup called Bohr Technology for a year and a half. It finished this summer, but I decided to still be going into quantum computing world because it's really fascinating. There are really many changes, especially recently with Google, who announced quantum supremacy. You probably heard about that. So if you're watching this video, you probably want to know how you should go about getting into quantum computing. So the first thing, you probably should learn Python because that's the language, the easiest language to get into then quantum computing with actual programming. Because on top of Python, you will have different libraries, different modules which you can use. So just to mention a couple of them, you can go about Rigetti framework called Forest. Just go on the rigetti.com website. Another framework for doing quantum machine learning and quantum computing in general is Xanadu. So if you Google Penny Lane Xanadu, yeah, that's a cool name, right? Then you will find a framework also in Python. So that's about the start because so if you know those basics of Python and actually know a little bit about quantum physics, which I'll tell you in a minute how to do that, then you can start doing quantum computing calculations, and that's the best start because you will enter into the field which is pretty technical. As I said, you probably have to know a little bit about quantum physics prior to starting any quantum computations, but fortunately there are many good intros. So if you are not going into the Feynman's book of quantum physics and you want to get straight to the action, then probably the best thing to do is start reading documentations, both of Xanadu or Rigetti. They explain pretty well different operators that are going on in quantum worlds, different gates, different quantum gates that you can use, and give you many good examples. So this is actually how I learned, how I learned coding and in those frameworks. That's the best to start. There are actually many tutorials which you can find online, and actually the same goes also with D-Wave and their platform. Also, if you're more into C++, then you will also find different languages based on C++, which will allow you to do quantum computing. So I'm not a huge fan of C++, I prefer Python as for any data science project, so I'm just sticking to Python. Yeah, so this is about it. This actually is quite easy to get into quantum computing as basic, so you'll be able to do like very simple problems like traveling salesman problem for just a couple of cities, or just simple computation of 2x2 matrices. Because basically you don't have that many qubits available yet, and the thing that you can practice in the cloud is probably going up to 16, 15 or 32 qubits right now. So it really depends what you're trying to do, but that's really good entry point. And if you're looking to hone your skills and become an expert in data science, then I think you also should know a little bit about quantum computing, and that's the best way to get into that. So yeah, Google Xanadu, Google Rigetti, get on their websites, download documentations and start reading, and then start coding. Have fun with that. Thank you for watching this episode, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.